Hello Sumate, welcome to today's video. We'll be cutting this beautiful style, and if you are new here, I say welcome to the family. Please do not forget to subscribe before leaving like and share with your friends, and comment if you have any question. If you're an OG, I say welcome back. So this dress, you can cut it as a mini Bubu dress, or you can cut it as a very big Bubu dress according to your preference. Okay, so this is the fabric I'll be using, the Brocade, and I'll be using this lining as well. So as you continue to watch this video, you had your allowances according to how you prefer it. So let's get straight into the video. So I'll be cutting the skirt first. I'll be drafting on a pattern paper. So here is my client's parameters. We have waist 34, hip 44, then skirt length 40. And as you can see, I've marked my starting point line. So from my starting point line, I'll be measuring the skirt length. The skirt length now, which is 40, I'll be adding 3 inches to it because we'll be turning it inward. Because the line is going to be shorter than the main fabric, so that's why I'll be adding the 3 inches to the skirt length. So right now I'll just measure 43 from my waist, from my starting point line. Then I mark on that point. Then also you mark on the 40 inches also. So then after that you connect the points together. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to get my client's hip depth, and the hip depth I'll be using for her is 9 inches. So I'm going to mark 9 inches on this side, then the other side as well 9 inches, then I'll connect the points together. So now we'll be marking the horizontal measurement. So for her waist is 34 divided by 4, we have 8.5. You add 1.5 inches to that, including the half-inch sewing allowance. So that is 10 inches. So that 1.5 includes the half-inch sewing allowance we'll be using, so making 10 inches. Then on our hip, our original hip is 42, so I had already added 2 inches to the hip, making it 44 because the dress is has a bit of exaggerated hip. So that 44 now divided by 4, we have 11. Then you still add that 1.5 inches to that hip as well. So there we have 12.5, which is exactly what I have on my pattern paper, and I've marked it. So for the hem area now, from that 12.5, you will remove 2 inches. You will remove 2 inches from the 12.5, so you'll be left with 10.5. So I'll be marking 10.5 on the hem area now, on the 40-inch mark to be precise. And then I'm going to be connecting all the points together. So guys, I didn't know my phone stopped recording, so until later before I found out that my phone has stopped recording. So I think where we stop at is the hip line. Okay, so after the hip line, the next thing I did was to measure 5 inches downward from the hip line. So from the center front, I measured 0.5 inch inward. Also, I did the same thing on the waist area. Then from the waist area, I measured 6 inches downward. Then I marked it, then I connect all the points together. So the next thing I did was to place my tape on that 6-inch mark. Then I started marking 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch till I was done. So then I come to the side and I measured what I have. So I had 14 inches, 14.5 rather. Then I decided to mark 1.1 inch all through till I got here. Then after, I connected the half inch to the 1.1, and that's how I got here. So the next thing is to cut it out. There's nothing else to do now. So now I'll be cutting it out. So on this end, I'll first of all trim the excess out. Then after that, I'm going to be folding it inward. Alright, that 3 inches is what I'm folding it. Well, it's what I'm folding in. So you fold it inward before you now cut the pattern out. So for the center front, I made a mistake. I wouldn't want you to make the same mistake. Before you cut the center front out, make sure you cut your lining first. Alright, so here I had already cut my center front out there. I sellotape it back to the pattern paper. Alright, before I now cut my lining. So this is me cutting the lining. So from the lower part of the lining, I'll be measuring 1 inch upward on this side. Then I'm going to measure 1 inch upward on the other side. Then I'll connect the 2 points together. So after connecting, you see the fold where the 3 inch fold, you are going to mark where it ends on your pattern paper. So that point now is where you're going to position on the 1 inch line, as you can see me do here. So that point is where I position on the 1 inch line. Then from there, we'll start cutting out our lining. So after cutting the lining, don't forget to notch the hip line. Then also the 5 inch point below the hip line, don't forget to notch that part as well. So after that, just set your lining aside. Then now we have to focus on the pattern paper. So because I had already cut out my own center piece pattern and sellotape it back, I'll be removing it now, then set it aside because I will need it later. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is the slashing method. So I'm going to be cutting on the lines I've drawn out, but I'm not going to be cutting them completely. Okay, you don't cut them out completely. So after you're done cutting out all the strips, the next thing you have to do is to position your pattern paper on your fabric. But while doing that, you have to be very careful because the strips can actually cut off from the pattern paper. So now, depending on the spacing you want to use in between your strips, it depends. You can actually use 1.5, 2 inches, 2.5, 3 inches, depending on how you want it to be full, depending on how full rather you want it to be. So for this, my client, what I'll be using is 2 inches. Okay, I'll be using 2 inches spacing for her. But before I position this on my fabric, I'll have to number the strips so as to know if where exactly, if at all anyone cuts off, so as to know where exactly it cuts from. You understand? So I'll be numbering this side and I'll also be numbering the other side. Although you won't be able to see me while I'll be spreading this out on my fabric, but I'm going to show you what you do. So depending on how full you want it to be, you can use 1.5 inch for the spacing, you can use 2 inches, you can use 3 inches, but for my client, I'll be using 2 inches. Then make sure your spacings are equal one shouldn't be wider than the rest. Okay, so by the time you'll be cutting this out, don't forget to add ½ inch to the strips, because by the time you want to join it to the center pattern we cut off, you will need the ½ inch. So you had half. I'm not talking about the waist or the side now, I'm talking about the center. So do not forget to add ½ inch to it. So as you can see, I've done one part already, and you see the ½ inch I'm talking about that you will need to add to it. So that is it. Then now I'll be showing you how to do this other part on camera. All right, so and please guys, you need pins. You need enough pins to hold your strips to your fabric. Okay, you need enough pins to hold the strips to your fabric. Then also you need your iron to be available, but if you don't have iron, you can still achieve it, but the thing is, it might be stressful for you, but to be very good if you have your iron readily available for you, so you can use it. So to be able to fold this last part, I'm going to be trimming this other side, making sure it is half inch to be exact. So I've marked it, then trim off the excess, then notch that side a bit, then I'll be able to fold in this side properly. So here it is, this is what we have. Then on this other part we're just done pleating, I'll be trimming it to half inch also, like I did to the other side. So now we'll be cutting the back panel, and this is my starting point line, and I have on fold 16.5 inches. Remember 12.5 inches on fold for the hip. So now we need zip allowance, although there will not be zip. So because there will be slits, my client doesn't want a big bubu, she just wants a mini bubu without zip, something that will still look smart on her. So that is why I'm putting slits. So at the back, at the lower area, I'll be putting slits. Then for the slit, I want it to be overlapping, so I'll add extra 1.5 also to the zip allowance. So for my zip allowance now, it's going to be 3 inches. So now you just mark out the 3 inches for the allowance. Then when you're done, you connect the points together. Then after that, you mark out the length of the skirt. Remember, the length we were working with is 43 inches. Like the exact length is 40 inches plus the extra 3 inches that will be on fold that will join to the lining, making 43 inches. Then when you mark that, you connect the points together as well. So now from the zipper line, we'll be taking our horizontal measurement. So the waist measurement is 34 divided by 4, we have 8.5 plus 1.5 inch allowance, which includes the sewing allowance of half inch, making 10 inches. So I'll be marking 10 inches on the waist area. Then for my client's hip depth, our hip depth is 9 inches, so I'm going to be marking 9 inches on this side and on the other side as well. Then also, if you're going to be putting zip, I'll be showing you how to cut your back panel also with, if you'll be using zip. So you will see everything there, and if you're not going to be using zip, so you connect the 2 points together. Then from that hip line, you come down by 5 inches. That is if you'll be using zip, come down by 5 inches like that. Then now for the hip measurement, you know, is 12.5, so I'll come here, then mark 12.5. Then for the hem, I'll be removing 2 inches for that 12.5, making 10.5. So I'll be marking 10.5 on the hem. That means the 40-inch mark. Sorry, you can't see it here. My camera couldn't capture it to that side. Then you connect all the points together. So if you'll be using zip, on the waistline, you mark 1 inch. as you see me do. Then the hip line, you mark 1.5 inches, and so on this line here I'll be marking 0.75. okay. Then now for the slit opening, depending on your client, for my client, ours is going to be 18 inches, and the 18 inches is going to start from the 14 inches mark. So I'm going to place 18 on that 14 inches mark, not the 43 this time around. Then I'll mark it. So now here I'm going to mark 0.75 as well. Then I'll connect the two 0.75 together with a straight through. Then I'm going to be using my French curve to connect the rest together. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to cut everything out. Don't forget to notch the hip area, okay? So don't forget to notch this point, then this side as well. So right now we are done with the back panels. So now I'll be using it to cut out my lining that you can cut by yourself. Then the next thing we'll be working on is to work on the top. So for the upper part, this is what I'm going to be using to cut the upper part. So it's folded into 4 already, as if you are cutting a bubu. That's how you're going to be folding it. But you see, this is long because the sleeve is joined to the blouse, so that is why it is this wide. So from here now, from my shoulder to our waist is 17 inches. So I'm going to be cutting 17.5. So I'll come here, mark 17.5. So I'm going to connect all the marked points together. I hope you're seeing it. So here it is. So here now, from this point, I'm going to measure the neck width. The neck width I'm using is 3.5. So I'm going to mark 3.5 from here to here. So the neck depth for the back is going to be 1 inch. Then the neck depth for the front is going to be 4 inches. So that is it. Then here from this place I'll be marking our shoulder measurement is 8 inches. So I'll come here and mark 8 inches. This is the 8 inches. Then from this 8 inches, the pleat I want it to be 6 inches. So I'm just going to come in. So from here, let me see what we have left. We have 26. So I'm just going to make it 26.5. Hopefully to be more. Yeah, I think so. So from here now, we have So I'm going to mark 40 for the width. Then I'll come here too and mark 40. Then I'll connect them together like that. So the nipple point, her nipple point is 11. So I'm going to come here and mark 11. This is 11. Our bust measurement is 42. Our bust measurement is 42. 42 divided by 4, we have 10.5. So if I come here and mark the 10.5 like so, this is the 10.5. Then mark 6 inches small. This is what I have. You know I'll be joining with half an inch sewing allowance. So that is it. So on this point here, I'll come down and mark 11. The 11 inches. Then here too, I'm going to come here and mark 11 inches. Then I'll connect this point to this point. So for the waist measurement, our waist that we're working with is 34, right? Which is 34, yeah. It will give us 8.5. So I added, for the skirts, I added 1.5 inch to it. So I'm just going to come here and mark this thing like so. Then add 6 inches to that. Six inches for the pleat. So this is what we have. So I'm just going to come this way and connect like this. But you know this place is not going to be like this. So I'm just going to go like this. So this is what we have. For the front panel, we'll come down by 3 inches. Then we'll just draw a V shape like this. Don't mind my V shape. So that is all that we have. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just cut everything out. So for the neck, for the back neck, I've cut it, then I notch this side. So by the time I turn it this way to cut the front panel, I'm just going to place this point together like so. So you see this point up together. Our 3 inches mark, I'll just come like this. And boom, we are done. So this is it, we are done. So I'm going to be doing something. So you will take the waist area like this, then notch, so as to be able to find the midpoint. Remember, this is your right side now. So from this right side, let me move it up so you can see. From this right side, you will place your 8 inches for the shoulder. You mark it here, then measure 6 inches from that place again. This is for your pleat. Remember this shoulder area, you come here, place 4.5. If you remove 3.5 from 8 inches, you'll be left with 4.5. So you come like this. Your 4.5 is here. From this 4.5, 6 inches for the pleat. That's it. Then you come to the waist area here. Then you come to the waist area here. Place your 8 inches. This is it. Then from here you mark 6. 3, then 6. So you'll be able to connect the points together by the time you want to pleat. Then you come to the other side and you repeat the same thing on the waist area. Your 8. Then your 6 inches. So by the time you pick and iron it down, you are going to follow the points you mark. See, you just iron and iron it down like so. So it's not difficult to sew. So this is what we have for the neck area. So now I'm going to be cutting the facing for this. I'm going to be cutting the facing for this. Then before I sew this with the facing, by the time I sew it, before I even sew it this place, I'm going to use Airstay on this neck area. I'm going to iron Airstay to it, then to the facing to Airstay, then fuse the two together. So I think everything is still perfect. So this will be the facing for this. So we are done with the skirt, with the lower part. We are done with the upper part. So then we need a strip for belt, all right, for the waist. So that is what we'll be cutting now. So it depends on what you want. You can either cut 70 or 60, depends. Although I still want to confirm with the client, because she was saying she wants a belt with hook. So I still want to confirm with her. If that is what she wants, we won't be cutting up to this length. If that's not what she wants, then I'll be using this length, 35, or even you can cut 80, depending on how long you want the belt to be for your client. And we've come to the end of the video, guys. And if this is your first time, please don't leave without subscribing. Okay guys, like, share and subscribe to the channel. Let's move this channel to 2K. Let's go to 2K. Hey, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I'm grateful, and if you have any question, just drop it in the comment section and I will definitely reply to you. All right, now see you in the next video. Love you guys.